Monday, guided meditation. Nice to see everyone. I hope you've had as good of a day as I've had. I was at work today, and I work in an outside, like it's a nature school, and we have lots of people come there to visit in the weekends. And hey, Odity, nice to see you again. We have lots of people to come there in the weekend who eat food there, they barbecue and just have a good time. And we have a toilet, a brand new toilet. Esperanza, hey, nice to see you, Tim. Emmanuel, good to see you. Have you been here before, Emmanuel? Catherine, nice. Anyway, we have the toilet, and so I'm a janitor there. I'm Lupa, nice to see you as well. And I clean up every morning. I go and pluck it. It's insanely beautiful there. If you look at my videos, I think I did some shorts where I walk around the lake where the school is, and it's just so beautiful. And I get to take walks there and pick up garbage in the morning. So anyway, there's a toilet, and I came in there, and somebody had pooped in the toilet, and it was stuck. And then someone else had come in and needed to go to the bathroom, and they just pooped on the floor, and then put the paper on top of it. And then there was a tampon, and there was blood everywhere, and there was paper and poop, and just, it was such a mess in there. And I came, and the stench, oh my goodness, it smelled terrible. And so I came in, and I have this stick, you grab, you can pick up garbage. So I moved away. We have I don't clean it myself. We have people who come and clean it. So I just moved it away, because I thought if we have a school class who come and it looks like that, that's not nice. But to the side, I took the stick and I pushed it inside the toilet, and I kind of grabbed, and eventually I got it to open up so it flushed. Otherwise, we'd have to have a plumber who comes. And every time I do something like that, it reminds me of before I was ordained as a monk, and I traveled in India for several months. I think I was in India for half a year in total. And I was staying at a hotel, and I remember I had a really bad stomach. The only time I had a bad stomach was when I was in India during the 8 years I was away. And they don't have toilets. They have these holes in the ground, and I clogged a hole in the ground because I pooped so much. So then this elderly woman comes in a beautiful sari. She was a beautiful woman. She was old. She must have been 70, something like that. She's an elderly woman. So a woman, not crazy old or anything, but just an elderly woman. And she worked, and she was going to clean it. So they also don't have showers. They have buckets, big buckets like this, and then you dip a scoop and you pour it over you. So she sits down, and there's full of my poop and paper, and she takes her arm, just pulls up her beautiful sari, puts the hand in the hole with my stuff in, and just starts grabbing like that. And then she takes the scoop that I pour over myself, she takes that, scoops it up and pours it in the bucket, scoops it up and pours it in the bucket, just like that. And she sits there, and I remember sitting there looking at her what the... And I always think about that, because I don't always think about that, but I always think about that when something like this morning happens. She was very likely belonging to a caste in India where that was her, that was what she was supposed to do. She cleaned stuff, poop, because she was of the lower caste, and she just seemed so dignified somehow. There was something just very some people carry themselves with dignity, and she just carried herself with dignity. And I always found that strange when she was digging with her arm in my poop and this beautiful sari on her. And we complain so much, here in the West. I know people who builders here in Sweden, when it's cold outside, they get very snotty and they go like that. And they're sort of oh my goodness, it's so disgusting. Oh my God, how can they? Or someone smells sweat. Oh my goodness. And then there's this beautiful old woman who's lived a life and worked her whole life, who you'd think that she deserved to maybe have some kind of rest and just take it a bit easy. But no, she's sitting in my bathroom digging around in the toilet with her bare hands, no gloves, no nothing. So even though it might sound like this morning was bad, for me it really wasn't. It's distortion. When I came in, it smelled really bad, but at the same time I'm it's not like there's mustard gas or something. I'm not gonna die. There's not a snake. It's just poop. And the people who did it, I don't understand. Like, if I understand if someone really needs to go to the bathroom, they could have just pooped on top of the other stuff, or they could have gone outside and like to a bush. But why would you poop in like the floor? Like, who does that? And then I went down to the to the lake, and someone had pooped next to the bridge also. I'm like, is it pooping day today or something? See, Emmanuel, I'm back to join your sessions after my vacation. Used to join your live sessions before summer. I hope you had a good summer. Nice to see you again, Emmanuel. Yeah, so I hope you don't get think it's too much, but it's really interesting how we in the West, we think these things are so bad and so terrible. And there are people who move around with that, even like there's like, yeah, there's worse stuff I'm not going to talk about, but we just have this idea that it's so bad, so terrible, and we get so like, ew, like I said, someone has sweat. What sweat is like one of the most natural things you can do, is the body making sure you keep your body temperature right. Like I remember when I was in America, we put this silvery paste that just blocked all the pores, so you didn't sweat at all. I always thought that's something really weird with that. That's not natural, not at all. It's like we're supposed to sweat. That's what we're made to do. So it's worth thinking about if you find that really disgusting or really like yucky. I actually went home afterwards because I got some on my pants, and I just took a shower and changed my clothes. And I mean, it's just distortion. There's nothing dangerous about that. Like, why do you have like this feeling towards that if you have it? If not, then yeah, sure. I mean, a child would have gone in like, hey, poop, cool. That's what my son would have said. No, actually, he would have gone like, poop, because we have hens who poop in the garden. He just goes, poop, papa, poop. And then he wants me to pick up with the thingy. So, yeah, if you practice really much, you can go into a bathroom with full of poop on the floor. That's fine. I see Emmanuel is asking, hope you had a great summer. Yes, I've had an amazing summer. Like, really the best summer I've had in a long time. And it's so nice when you... I often talk about this distortion and friction and pressure, but it's so difficult to explain. I tried to explain it to a friend of mine. I met a friend who I've known for 42 years. I got to know him when I was 4 years old. And we met to see the new Alien movie. And I was trying to explain to him, like, what is it that I teach? And I was just Buddhism. Like, no, it's not. It's something else. And it is difficult to get the point across. But basically what I'm saying is that it's not in your mind that you're having issues, that you have aversion. There's actually a sensation of aversion, a sensation of pressure towards something. So when you see the thing that you think is yucky, you go like, ooh, like this morning, I didn't feel that pushing against it, but at the same time, I didn't like just walk straight over it or take it with my bare hands, because I know that it's sticky and it smells and it's like feces. There's no point for me to touch it. So it doesn't make you dumb. If anything, it just takes away the aversion, this like cringing feeling, and then you can choose what you could do. It's the same when you see a person. Instead of having so much pushing and pulling towards them, depending on their race, on their color, their sex, their clothing, whatever, you just make a decision. If someone comes at you with a baseball bat and lots of tattoos and a jacket that looks really like Hell's Angels on it or something, then very likely, like, okay, like, I'll just give them a little bit extra space because they look like they might not be friendly. They could be very friendly, I don't know, but it doesn't mean you get dumb. You can still understand the world. And Blue Pass asking, was Alien good? It was very good. It was really good. I said I gave the first 3/4 of the movie 5 stars out of 5, and the last half, 1/4, I gave 4 out of 5. And they did a lot of references to the older movies. If you like them, then you like it. So yeah, the whole idea is looking at this pressure you have, this build up to the things around you. And then, for instance, now it's Monday today. When you go to work, you can feel it's different a Monday than a Sunday or a Saturday. This weekend, I didn't feel like I was going to work this morning. It was very nice. And when I was going to work this morning, I didn't feel like I was going to work. It was just now. And then I go in my car and I drive, and then I go somewhere, and that happens to be my work. But it's not the feeling like, oh, I need to be at work and I need to do this. So it really is all about the relationship you have with the world around you, and being able to drop that so you can actually observe the world around you without that haze that comes over you, because when you have that pushing towards the world, you don't see clearly, you don't smell, hear, touch and feel clearly, because you have this thing shaking in between saying that, oh, this is poop, this is bad, oh, this is work, I have to be here, I don't want to be here, or whatever it is that you're feeling. When you take that away, it's just you're somewhere and you're walking around and you're doing whatever you're doing, and it happens to be your work, but it's still here, it's still now. And it's really, it's difficult to explain how remarkable it is. Good. Oh yeah. Meditation time. Today's Monday, so we have guided meditations, and for those of you who are new, we start with what we call the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is 5 things we say out aloud, 5 things that we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things that we can hear, 2 things that we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. And the whole idea behind this exercise is that we want to get to that place where we're just feeling, just seeing without any interpretation. So I really want you to, when we say the things out aloud, to really make sure you stop. Try to really notice what you're seeing, feeling what you're feeling. Imagine that you're a child who doesn't know what this is, who doesn't know what like this stuff here is. What is this stuff? Like what does it feel? Lots of like small little, like I imagine how a child would view this. They would be like, whoa. That's the kind of interaction we're looking for with the world around us. So I'll say my 5 things out aloud, and you can say them together with me. And then after that, we'll sit for 20 minutes, and I'll be guiding you today. After that, it's questions and answers if you have any. So I see the reflections in the camera lens. I see a pen on a book. I see black plastic. I see a small square window. I see numbers on a yellow background. So those were 5 things that I could see. Now we take 4 things that we can touch. So I can touch this cup. My tongue touches the liquid. I touch this soft blanket I have on me. And I can touch and feel my thermos. Now we're going to our hearing. 3 things that you can hear. And don't take the first most obvious. Give it some time to really see what you can hear, if you can find some smaller noises in the background. I can hear a car engine. I hear a moped. I can hear the fan from my computer. And we take 2 things that we can smell. I smell shampoo or soap. I can smell a bit of bad breath, I think. Yeah. Finally, we take 1 thing that we can taste. I can taste my rooibos tea. So that was 5 things we could see, 4 things we could touch, 3 things we could hear, 2 things we could smell, and 1 thing that we could taste. So for this meditation, we'll be focusing on our breath. And we're not aiming to see all the tiny nuances of the breath. Instead, we're trying to observe a wide area of our breath. It's more a sense of breath is happening inside of us that you're looking for. We're also not trying to control the breath, so when you hear me doing the exercise later, I will do it loudly that you can hear me count in and breathe out, but that's just to make it easier to follow along with the breath. So if you start to move your awareness to your breath, start looking for where breath is happening. The easiest place is usually around the torso area, as the torso is contracting and expanding, contracting and expanding. And as the breath slows down, it might be that you barely feel the breath at all, but instead you're aware of breath happening as you're breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. All of us have had things that we bring with us from the day. And all of us have things we know we're going to need to do tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or maybe even next month and next year. But for the next 20 minutes, see if it's okay to just leave all of that beside. Just put it to the side for now. You can get back to it after 20 minutes, but for the next 20 minutes, ask yourself if it's okay that you just focus on this one tiny little thing that is vitally important, which is your breath. And just leave all thoughts, all trouble solving, all analyzing, all blaming, all shaming, or feeling good, feeling bad. Just leave all of those things to the side and observe your breath. Ask yourself if that's okay for the next 20 minutes. And to make it easier, we will do a small exercise where we count our breath from 1 to 8 and then down again from 8 to 1. And I will do it one time together with you, and then you can continue by yourself. And I will come in throughout the meditation to give you some tips and hints on what to do. So breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. 2. Breathing in and breathing out. 3. Breathing in and breathing out. 4. Breathing in and breathing out. 5. Breathing in and breathing out. 6. Breathing in and breathing out. 7. Breathing in and breathing out. 8. Breathing in and breathing out. 7. Breathing in and breathing out. 6. Breathing in and breathing out. 5. Breathing in and breathing out. breathing in and breathing out. 3, breathing in and breathing out. 2, breathing in and breathing out. 1. Now continue counting by yourself from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1 as you breathe in and breathe out. 1. Breathe in and breathe out. 'Sometimes, no matter how much you don't want it to be that way, your thoughts will start coming in, making you drift away in some fantasy or trying to solve some problem. And all of a sudden you notice that you've completely forgotten to count your breath. Or maybe you're counting, but you're going 15, 16, 17. That's actually a really good thing. Because when you notice that you've lost the awareness of your breath, then you have a chance to do the only thing that you need to do in this meditation. The only thing that will actually make you good at this kind of meditation, which is to come back, to notice that you've lost your awareness of your object of meditation and return. And every time you do that, come back, come back, come back. The mind will calm down. Sometimes it's 1 second. Sometimes it's 1 minute before you notice it, or 5 minutes. And that's okay, because you did notice it. Just forgive yourself and start over. Just keep coming back, and eventually you'll develop what's called stickiness of the mind. And your awareness will just rest on your breath without any effort, without any force, without even trying. It will just stick to your breath. As you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes people get discouraged because even though they follow their breath, even though they do whatever meditation technique they've been told to do, they're not getting any special experiences. They're not getting the flashing lights, the visions of other dimensions, or talking to spirit guides, or manifesting the new Lamborghini, or finding your soulmate, or having a rapturous experience in your meditation. But it's important to think about why we meditate, or at least I'll share why I think you should meditate. And I'll share why I meditate. The reason we meditate is to train our mind, to make it pliable, to make it able to observe, like training a microscope. Maybe you don't train a microscope, but you make your mind into a microscope so that you can, maybe that's the wrong word also, a flashlight so you can see what's going on inside of you. Next time you go by and have a conversation with that person who annoys you to death and you just start immediately reacting towards them, you have a flashlight on inside of you and you'll see, hey, wait a minute, there's lots of distortion here. What's this? Why am I reacting like this? And by becoming aware, you can learn to let go. And when you can let go, then you can do the thing we're ultimately trying to do, which is to enjoy being alive, to enjoy being here, to not need to be over there for you to feel fulfilled, to not need to be someone else, to be somewhere else, to be something else, to have something else or have someone else, to actually feel fulfilled and happy. Because you are you. You are a living, breathing human being who are experiencing the world around you through your 5 sense doors. And the 6th one also, if you count the mind as a sense door. And the world is incredible when you just allow yourself to enjoy it. That is why we meditate. Not to just have one tiny experience that lasts for a minute or 10 seconds or even an hour or a day. We want the rest of our lives to be filled with enjoyment of being here. Enjoying sounds, enjoying smells, even the ones that we consider bad. Enjoying what we feel when we touch someone, touch something. When we feel heat, when we feel cold, when you smell the diapers of your child, or when you smell fresh strawberries or newly cut lemon, when you hear a beautiful piece of music, when you're just standing out in a field and hear the crickets singing in the evening. Life is enjoyable if you just allow yourself to enjoy it. That's what we're trying to do. Simply by observing how you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. As always, you're free to continue sitting, or you're welcome to ask questions if you have any. I recommend you that when you stop meditating, start up slowly. Open your eyes, look around you, see if you can keep your awareness on your breath at the same time as you're starting to move around. So it just doesn't just become a 20-minute exercise, but actually something that's training you to keep awareness throughout the day. I think I told you last time, but a really interesting exercise to do is that after you meditated, when you do it by yourself, then open up your phone and start browsing Facebook or Instagram or Twitter if you dare to, and see what that feels like. Is there any distortion? Do you feel craving, aversion? What happens? Just see if you can sit with that and see how it actually makes you feel, because most people are simply not aware. They just think they're angry or that they like what they see, but after you meditated, you're very sensitive and you can feel what's going on when you consume media. See, Amblupa is asking, I want to know more about your theory of distortion and how do you recognize them? You're welcome, Emmanuel. Distortions is... there's different angles of approaching it. I call it a tangent philosophy. So basically a tangent is, or is it called the smallest common denominator? No, a tangent is what I'm looking for. If you have a circle, the smallest point where a line touches a circle, that's the smallest point that you can find that it has in common is this here. This here doesn't have in common with the circle, it's just this point. So distortions would be as close as you can get to that point. As soon as we start interpreting, talking about other things, then we try to describe like all these things around here and we kind of get confused. But distortions is basically the thing that gives rise to everything else. And if we then go further from distortions to explain what they do, it's basically a feeling you have towards something. So we have the expression, you see red, you're so angry you see red. Basically what happens is that when we are children, because I have kids, my smallest one is 2 years old, and I remember that he would just run around and he'd stop and he'd look at things and he'd just stare like this, and he'd go up and he'd feel things. It's like, wow. He could lie and look at the clouds and just see them go, and he's like, whoa, Papa, whoa. He just looked there because he had no intellectual understanding, or not intellectual understanding. He didn't have a feeling towards that yet. It was new, it was fresh, it was something different. The same feeling you have when you go on vacation and you see something new, new smells, new sounds, new architecture. And when you have new things that you haven't started having a relationship, a distortion to, then you observe it, you see things as they are without this thing inside of you. Because now, when you view this one, maybe you've seen me had that one before, then you have this thing here in front of you saying, oh, I know this one, Martin has this one. If you would see it in a store, you would go, oh, I recognize this. You might know that this is from a series called Moomintrollen, and then you have a relationship towards that. But when you take that away and you see everything fresh without this distortion, then things become different, but still exactly the same. The world is just beautiful. It's exactly what it is when you go on vacation and you think everything is amazing, everything is so wonderful. And if you would look inside what you feel, there's this openness, this freshness, this non-pressure, because you're not having a sensation towards everything. It's just not a strong sense of you. I call it non-centricness, or non-duality, because you don't feel like I am here and I'm pushing. Every time you start pushing against something, I know what this is. You start pushing, then you create the sofa and me. It's not that you don't know what the sofa is, like the non-dual people say. I think they're just like completely lost in their minds. It's a feeling that we're looking at. It's the same. I know what this is. I know the value of it. I know that it can pick up my sound good. So I have a feeling towards this one. And I have a feeling towards this one. And when you can learn to observe these things, these are more difficult to see because you have a distortion towards colors, a distortion towards white people, black people, people from other races, or the way people speak, languages. And if you say, no, I don't, but yeah, you do. Like, you just don't have maybe so strong that it will be called being a racist, but you have a different feeling towards everything. And when you let go of that, then you see people without the filter that creates like this distance between you, and you just see them as you. And it's so incredible to talk to people when you don't have that filter, because you don't need to defend anything. You don't have like I said before, I can know if someone comes at me with a gun and look dangerous, like, then I know they're probably going to be dangerous, so I just walk over here. But you'll be open to people, and the world just becomes fun. It's like being a child, which is why I said the thing I said during the meditation, that why we're doing all of this is not to have incredible experiences, which happen by themselves, but they're just distractions. They're not really important, even though people think they're the thing. They just come and go, and when you had 1,000 or 10,000 of those, it's just, so what? So it's like what some people signalness. Would you write that again? Bloopa, I'm not quite understanding what you're saying. I'm not saying they give away a vibration. I'm saying that we, while we grow up, get distortions towards things. So I'm actually making a video about my son when he learned guilt and shame. So he knows now that if he goes around in a skirt, there will be kids who tease him because boys are not supposed to wear a skirt. And then he feels what that feels like, and like, okay, I see a skirt, and he'll get a feeling towards that, a distortion, a friction, a distance towards it. Hey JVB, nice to see you. When I really noticed this was one time when I had been meditating, and I came to my relative's house. I've told this story before. And I walked out of the doors to the balcony. And as I walked out, I went, ooh, what like, some kind of spirit here? Because I could really feel myself go like this. And I didn't understand what it was. And I kept going in and out. And oh, wait a minute. There was a big urn there. And last time I was there a few months earlier, I had completely forgotten about this. There was a wasp hive with lots of wasps were going in and out. And my uncle, he took that away and killed them. And then there were no wasps there now. But I had inside of me a distortion towards the urn. Oh, dangerous, stay away. So as I walked by me, since I had meditated, I could feel my whole body going, ugh, almost like I got goosebumps, like a resistance towards it. So the distortions are not bad. They're not made to hurt you. They're actually, I think it's now we come to, if this is the thing that's really true, and I'm coming here in interpretations because I don't know if this is true, but it makes sense that we have distortions to keep us alive when our minds were not so developed, because that would say that if you see a snake, you have a distortion. Don't go near a snake. If you're standing underneath where there's like something that could fall on you, like, well, then you will feel like this and then you walk away. But the thing is, we have highly developed minds, so we don't need to have that. We can intellectually understand that, yes, if there's a rock like almost about to fall over, I'm not going to stand there. I'll move away. Or if there's a snake, I'll actually, maybe you even have the knowledge of it. That's not a dangerous snake, so I don't need to be afraid. Or you'll know, oh, that's a small, tiny snake, but it's actually really dangerous. Like, I was dumb one time. I had a cobra. Like, it was this tiny. It was so cute. It was a meditation center. I remember this. And I had gone out. I had meditated, and I went out, and there was like a cobra in a gutter, and I was like, oh, little cutesy thing, and I took I think I had my camera with me then. Yeah, I must have had my camera. Or did I take a photo? Yeah, I think I did. So I kind of went up to it or something, and then it went like this, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. Like, it could have killed me, because it's a cobra. It doesn't matter if it's a small one or not, but that was really dumb. So obviously I wasn't thinking then. Does that make sense? Does that make it clearer, I should say, what distortion is? You kind of need to experience what it's like without distortion before it really makes sense why you would want to take away your distortions. Because when you start taking them away, you're taking away your sense of self, and that can be difficult. because everyone told you you're supposed to do this, and then all of a sudden you're saying, well, I'm not saying I'm going to do this other thing, but I no longer feel the resistance towards that, and then you can choose what you want to do. Is a part of the 3 doors of particularly in teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh: emptiness, signalness, and airlessness. Yes, it's more clear now. That thank you for explanation. I'm not familiar with that part of Thich Nhat Hanh's description. Emptiness is not quite the same. Signalness and aimlessness, I think those describe qualities. The doors of liberation. Yeah, I'm not sure about them. I have a vague memory. I'll have to look them up. But yeah, that's what distortions are. The best way to describe it is that it's basically, I call it dukkha. Like, for me, I think this is what the Buddha meant when he spoke about dukkha. Dukkha was a word that described a wheel when you had sand in the axle and it didn't flow smooth. Something that didn't flow smoothly, that had friction, distortion, or something that didn't go the way it was supposed to. That was the word dukkha, and we've translated that into suffering. Granted, when you've experienced non-distortion and then get distortion, and again, in this, like almost like a knot starting to tie itself together, and you're starting to feel a distortion, you're having a relationship to everything again, that is suffering in comparison to not having it, because it's just so obviously more enjoyable to live life without this constant, like, this is you, this is me, and having a pressure towards the world. That's why people say that it becomes quiet. They meditate like, wow, something happened. It was so quiet. And they think it's the sounds, but no, it's that you stopped distorting towards everything. I love the analogy with the wheel and friction. Yeah, good. Like that makes. There's another word called sukha. Dukkha is when it, and sukha is when the wheel just moves smoothly. And that really is what it feels like when you're moving around and you're not distorting towards the world. It's incredible. Like, other people aren't your enemies. They aren't an obstacle. They're not someone who's you need to get something from. You don't need to get appreciation from them. You don't need to get approval or disapproval or love or whatever. It's just, it's this incredible human being that's moving around and saying things. And when you're talking, you can, when I talk now, I enjoy hearing feeling the vibrations in my body from my what do you call this, the vocal cords, like when they vibrate. I love the feeling inside of me when I talk. It's enjoyable to talk. It's enjoyable to feel the air that's cold from the air conditioner here. And I was on a call earlier today, and I heard the voice of the person. It was just, wow, it's a beautiful voice. And I spoke to some colleagues today at work, and it's just beautiful to experience the world. It doesn't matter what they want to, like, that's not what's going to give you fulfillment. We believe that if we do A, we will get fulfillment in the future. If we do this thing, we will get fulfillment. But that feeling of fulfillment is always there. It doesn't come from other things outside. And so then people say, oh, you're not going to do anything. No, that's not what that's like a misunderstanding. It's always there. And then when you feel that, then you can choose what you can do. But you don't do things because you believe you're going to be rewarded. You do things because it's just what you want to do. And when you feel that good, it's very difficult not to be nice to other people. It's very difficult not to help other people. It's really, really difficult to, like, be mean to other people. It just doesn't make any sense, because you feel good. You appreciate the world around you. You appreciate how special and beautiful it is. And then you don't need the goodwill that we talk about in Buddhism a lot to cancel some kind of bad will, because it comes from you. So it's not that you help other people because you want some kind of reward or because it's the right thing to do. You just help other people because it's so obvious when there's no sense of you here. It's just really obvious that you do that. And then people try to go at it backwards with, like, all these ideas and complicated things you need to do, or like understandings. No, it's very easy. If you can experience the world without you so strongly there, you'll understand what it is, and then it just becomes clear, oh, this is more enjoyable to live life like this. But then the problem is, then you start feeling that knot again, and you start tying yourself up, And then you need to figure out, okay, how do I stop doing this thing? And that's why we're doing the meditation, and that's why we're talking about the things we do. JVB, what do you do for work, if I may ask? I'm currently a janitor. I used to work with kids who were, we call them hemmasitter, home sitters. They stayed home from school for like years. They would have kids who had been home from school for 3 years because they were feeling really bad or something was wrong. So it was my job to get them back. But then I got burnt out, and I got a job as a janitor at a nature school and a part of the municipality here for it's called Centrala Barnelevhälsan, the central health care for the kids of the schools, kind of. So I take care of the buildings and an outside school, which is incredible, because after I was burned out, I just couldn't handle that much interaction with people or being in a classroom. So yeah, I'm very fortunate, and I have the most beautiful workplace you could ever imagine. Maybe I'll do a meditation from there one time. Amblupa, bad spot in my life a few months ago. Yes, I have realized that you... Let's see, what is this? There's this heart in the way. You can't have spirituality without love. So this is one of those things. I wouldn't use the word love, because love requires me and you. And then people start using words such as, because when they realize this, they're like, okay, no, it's unconditional love. Because they try to get over this. Love is me loving you. This is beyond love. It's like love is kind of almost there. I think the reason people use it, and it's also very trendy, and it's nice to say everyone loves it when you say love, but like really it would be beyond love is the best way to describe it. Love doesn't really make any sense when you have no sense of self. Some people say that all is then love. Well, how would you have love without someone? Yeah, it's not love, even though that's a really good thing to focus on in the beginning, at least, because if you feel love for other people, then you wouldn't hurt them. But then again, then you're trying to do something instead of trying to not do something, and then this thing will come out that just behaves in the way you believe love is supposed to behave. Yes, I got that. It's not romantic love. No, I'm not talking about romantic love either. I'm talking about literally love, with the word love. I love you. Like, I love the world. Like, I feel this thing towards this. There's duality in that. And I'm not saying that just to mark words. I'm saying it because love feels different than what it feels like when you have no sense of self and you appreciate and see the, like, almost sacredness of the world around you. It's like there's just hurting anything or anyone just doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean you can't get in a car and drive, because you're going to kill thousands, if not millions, of insects when you drive. But that doesn't mean you can't do that. It just means that there's no reason to intentionally hurt anyone or be cruel or to do anything that makes other people suffer. It just, it doesn't make any sense. Again, it's like we're going into nuances that are difficult to touch, because people use the word love because it's the closest thing they can come up with. But it's more than just love. Let's just leave it at that. It's more than just love. So appreciate would be a better word. I mean, it's more what the experience is like, maybe. The words can't really describe it. It's like I said, you just need to experience it. Certain words can help you get into the states of just being. And if you say love, the problem is that then people tense up because they try to feel something. If I say feel gratitude, then people also tense up because I'm grateful. I am grateful. But if you appreciate, that means that you look at this and you're like, wow, yeah, this really is a beautiful sofa. It really is beautiful how the light kind of bends around this shape here, and how there's a shade here. There's all these nuances of like gray, and there's some black in there, and then there's this blanket, and it's some, like, I don't know, brown, orange thing. It's just, and it's white on the backside. And you just see things and see that the world is beautiful, because when you stop doing this, then you'll really see like a child, and a child doesn't see, he can look at a a rusty bucket and think, wow, look at all the colors. Look at those things going there. So it's without a evaluation of things, and not a mental evaluation, but an emotional evaluation. Mindful Mama, very interesting about the tension the world love creates. Yeah, and it's scary to say that we don't aim for love because it's so commonly used, but really it just creates a lot of weird stuff when you're trying to do that. Yeah. And then people start interpreting that and making ideas of what it is, and then we're all one, and like there's like just, yeah, we don't need to make interpretations. It doesn't matter what we are or what we aren't. We're just talking about what you there sitting on that other side of this camera, how you're experiencing the world. And right now you're experiencing that this is me and this is you. But you will have also experienced times when you don't feel that so strongly, and one of the easiest ways to feel that, or the things that you will recognize the most, is when you're on vacation. When you go to a new place and you feel this, it's easy to breathe and you feel so relaxed. You're like, wow, what is this? And it's just, everything is so beautiful here, and the air and the sounds and the smells, and then you're like, yeah, like imagine if you go to India and there's like scents everywhere. There's the heat, and then you see all the food in the markets, and there's all the people, and there's all the colors and everything. Like, wow, this is incredible. And you think, it must be this place. This place is so amazing. That's why I'm feeling this. But it's not the place. It's that you came to a new place where you don't have all these distortions towards things. You don't have so much of you there. You basically, there's you, and it's pushing out, but it's not hitting anything. So then you don't feel the pressure towards you. So it actually becomes easier to breathe. You can feel the lightness, the just the ease of walking around. This is why people like traveling so much. But if you would live there, then it would be very different. Maybe not the first week, maybe not even the first month, but after a few months, a year, I wonder if you would feel the same thing. If you ask every person you go around the street, do you feel how amazing it is here on this street? Can you smell the scents and the colors? And they're like, yeah, I smell the urine from the alley over there. Yeah, I can see it, and I can see the cow dung over there because of the cow. That's what. Oh, he just farted. Oh, you should probably not stand so close to his ass. It's like, when we come to a new place, we get this freedom because we're not distorting towards these things. Let's see, Mindful Mama, I was listening to colleagues talking about abundance today. There's so much self in there, no judgment. I have been there myself, but it's like with the law of attraction, I'm going to pretend that I already had that, so I will. Yeah, so basically law of attraction, I think that's like the biggest spiritual scam of all of them. It's basically like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna feel like I already have this and have so much not me, and we're all one, and then I'm gonna get stuff, and I'll be rewarded, and then I will get these things. So you're just kind of making a loop so that you can get things. I'm not saying you shouldn't get things, but I'm saying it's just another way of getting stuff. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about here of letting go of the sense of self. Actually, some of it does, but they're using it in such a way that they're trying to do that so that they will get something else, which, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's kind of funny when we're looking at it from this perspective, or trying to let go of the sense of self and actually be okay with how it is, and not thinking you need to get that thing to be happy. Because law of attraction says, okay, I'm gonna feel like I have this bicycle, and then like I have the joy of having the bicycle, and then I'm biking and I'm feeling so much joy. Why do you need a bicycle to feel all that joy? You can feel joy just sitting here, just sitting still. I feel more joy sitting here, feeling the breeze on me, than I did before I was a monk and I was out partying or doing whatever I was doing then. I'm just much more content and calm inside of me. I don't need those things to feel good. I feel good now. Mindful Mama, JVB. Congrats on getting your job as a janitor. Did the janitor job find you, or did you go looking for it? It kind of found me, since it was for the same organization that I worked in within the municipality. And when I got bad, they can't just fire me because I'm sick. So then they need to find something I can do. And then this spot opened up because the guy who was there before was going into pension. So it was just lucky circumstance, serendipity. Mindful Mama, I wish I had known about distortions before. It might have saved me from a lot of difficult spiritual beliefs. Yeah, spirituality can really mess people up because they get all these new beliefs that they then try to relate to or follow, and I've seen it. I wonder if I haven't seen spirituality mess more people up than I've seen people be helped by it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a crazy world out there, and it's very easy to get caught up in stuff. So basically, if it doesn't make you enjoy being you or enjoy being alive, then maybe look for something else. It's getting late. Thank you. I enjoyed today as always. It's it's the high. I was going to say it's the highlight of my day, but I had a really nice poop day today. So it was a whole long highlight. And Blupa, I try to integrate beliefs from different perspectives and with the resonates. Great, that's a great idea. I think that's what one should do. You should really look around and see what works for you. And then if there's something that you like, then like take that part. If it's something you don't like, then well, just stay away from it. I'll see you all on Thursday again. And Tim, thanks everyone. Thank you to Tim. There's a new video coming out soon. I just haven't had any focus on making more videos. I just enjoy these sitting so much, and then I've been busy with life in general. But soon there will be a new video out that I feel very strongly about. So have a great week, and I'll see you on Thursday.